TNT hopes French Open debut puts energy and joy back into tennis coverage. Chief Content Officer Craig Berry says broadcaster plans to mic up players during warm-ups and coaches in between sets. Craig Berry, TNT Sports Executive Vice President and Chief Content Officer, has said he hopes the network's debut as the U.S. broadcaster of the French Open brings energy and joy back into tennis coverage. Starting this weekend, TNT is broadcasting Roland Garros for the first time in 2025 after securing the U.S. rights to the tournament in a deal reported to be worth $650 million over 10 years. The agreement with the French Tennis Federation, FFT, makes TNT parent company Warner Bros. Discovery, WBD, the largest global broadcast partner of the clay court Grand Slam, which has been shown by Eurosport in Europe for 36 years. As well as live matches airing on TNT in the U.S., truTV will broadcast an NFL Red Zone-style whip-around show daily throughout the tournament. Speaking to SportsPro, Berry said there are also plans to mic up players for interviews with TNT's broadcast team during warm-ups, as well as coaches for conversations in between sets. One of the most important parts of what we're deciding to do is to bring a certain amount of joy and entertainment value overall, Berry told SportsPro. It's okay to be honest and authentic and unapologetic, and if they're doing all of that and the talent is having a good time, then I guarantee everybody that's watching is having a good time. For us, at least when I look at it personally, the thing that is most important is to bring a certain amount of energy and joy back to the coverage of a game. I feel like that's probably been lost over the last couple of decades. While tennis has historically been considered more of a traditional sport, Berry said that TNT has had multiple discussions with French Open organizer the FFT about new ways to cover the action. He also noted that the network is looking for a subtle way to enhance the coverage of the tournament. They, the FFT, are challenged with, in a good way, understanding the legacy and the tradition that is Roland Garros, but being progressive enough to try to push this event and tennis as a whole into the 21st century. So, it's a delicate balance. There are situations where less will be more. This is our first year. We want to walk before we can run. We want to try things. If they work, we can do more of them. If they don't work, then let's move on from them and try something different. You can easily fall victim to throwing too much at it all at once and diluting the product, and that's something we're very, very conscious of. The French Open marks the latest collaboration between WBD's US and European sports broadcasting teams since the $43 billion merger between Warner Media and Discovery in early 2022. Scott Young, Group Senior Vice President of Content, Production and Business Operations at WBD Sports Europe, said the company is essentially working as one production team with different outlets. TNT will have 2 studios at Roland Garros to produce distinct shows for audiences in the US and the UK, where the broadcaster is also taking over coverage of the French Open following the integration of content from Eurosport, whose channels were taken off air in the market in February. WBD's US and international teams will also be collaborating in areas such as match highlights, interview footage, talent reactions, and behind-the-scenes content to amplify its coverage across its various social media channels. Meanwhile, WBD's streaming platforms Max and Discovery Plus will offer the most comprehensive coverage of the French Open, including more than 900 matches across the men's, women's, legends, wheelchair, and junior tournaments, as well as additional press conference feeds and cameras from across the grounds. Young said the biggest innovation for this year is the broadcaster's lineup of on-air talent, which includes current and former players such as Andre Agassi, Lindsay Davenport, Tim Henman, and Sloane Stephens. Those experts are set to contribute to the coverage across WBD's various linear, digital, and social media platforms and feeds in different territories. I think this is going to be the most extraordinary coverage of a Grand Slam tennis event that's ever been undertaken, said Young. Not just in the technical prowess of how this is being done and the enormity of how it's being done, but really around the storytelling focus that we've put into Roland Garros. Eurosport has been doing this for decades, but what we've seen now is the superpower we've often talked about through putting our 2 businesses aligned in Atlanta and in the UK and across Europe. When these 2 forces came together, particularly around the Olympic Games, we've seen an extraordinary opportunity for how we can collaborate and how we can really build out a story.